Welcome to Bay Area Sports Report. My name is Rady, and today we'll be talking about the 49ers Day 17 of 49ers training camp. Today was a lot of injuries, unfortunately. I'll get into that. Along with that, Jed York, along, along with those things. So let's get right into it, along with some standouts for training camp. So let's get right into it, as there are some news on Jed York as of right now, as on Shanahan on sharing his thoughts on the Jed York situation, as I got to talk to Jed, which was 3 days ago. Obviously, it's a very tough situation. It's extremely fresh. It's a very, very personal situation. I got a lot of respect for Jed. I got a list of respect for Danielle. With it being this personal, I'm trying my very best to keep it that way. So, overall, yeah, this is sad, I guess you could say. It's just very sad for the 49ers. It's disappointing to see, and it's just a sad thing. And, you know, 49ers are it's, out of the off seasons for me, as being a 49ers fan since 2019, this has got to be the worst off season I've ever seen in my life. As you can see here, Jed York arrested, Shanahan car accident, Christian McCaffrey tightness. I mean, it's not that much, but he's back, but not good. Ricky Pierce out for season. Mike Evans has actually 5 injuries in a row. As you know, for injury updates, Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, Dominic Pooney, Kyle Juszczyk, and Curtis Rourke are among those on the side field and not practicing today. Nick Bosa is not practicing also, which is no surprise. You can see John Lynch, Shanahan, and Al Guido at training camp. So I feel like Al Guido probably means there's a possibility he's also the CEO of the 49ers. So there's a possibility that um, maybe the 49ers could possibly have him be the GM or the owner for now. We'll have to see. I have Jed York as a loser just for training camp just because he's in Ohio and I don't even know if he has a home in Bay Area. And I just got asked, like, why is he in Ohio? Isn't he like the owner of the 49ers? Isn't he supposed to be like in charge? Like, what is that? Like, it just makes no sense to me. I mean, they might fire him, they might like suspend him, and I think Al Guido could possibly be the owner for the 49ers for now. And then after suspension is, I don't know if he's gonna get his job back. We'll have to see on the update is, and just sucks that Jed York is having this situation and those things for the 49ers. It's just bad. This is like one of the worst off seasons I've seen for the 49ers, and just disappointing for Jed York. But overall, it's just a sad situation. As for more updates, Mike Evans has a groin injury, which is why he is not practicing. Jacob Cowing is also not practicing, which is a hip flexor injury, which is the same injury that he had. Curtis Work suffered 3 broken ribs in the preseason opener. Kirk and Darian Lowe are candidates for the short-term IR, IR for the 49ers per Kyle Shanahan. Nick Bosa, Charles Shanahan is hopeful Nick Bosa will be back at practice next week. So I guess there's another practice, I guess, for the 49ers. Even though this is supposed to be the last one, but who knows? We'll see. Ronaldo Height has an ankle injury, so that was the undisclosed injury from yesterday. Mike Evans' groin injury will. 49ers are hoping Mike Evans will return practice next week for Shanahan. But this is just terrible. Along that Nick Bosa knee tendonitis, Jordan James fractured ribs, which he's back from that, but still it's like kind of bad. And Brian Ayuk, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. As for Fred Warner on the aftermath, as we're all aware, we all have social media, so we see things. But at the same time, I got a lot of love and a lot of respect for Jed, and don't feel the need to comment on the situation. I think the team is the same way. It really wasn't a conversation being held in the locker room. Of course, yeah, you noticed it, but at the same time, we're so hyper focused in this building on trying to prepare for week one. We're just trying to get better as a football team. That's a personal situation. We're letting it stay personal with him. And I like that for Fred. He's focusing up on that, and I'm happy that he is focusing up on training camp. Along with that, I want to mention before I move on, Upton Stout also is injured, so Chris, which I also have him as a loser, but I'll discuss that a little later. And that's kind of an issue. So it's just such a sad issue for the 49ers. But overall, I think for Jed York, hopefully he does good. But I don't know. I mean, I'm fine with Jed York not being there. I would give it back to Eddie DeBartolo. I mean, which was his father, Jed York's father. I would love it if he came back for the 49ers and just handled business for them. But I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. So it's a bit of an issue, but it is what it is. And hopefully he comes back from that. As for some as for some more updates, Nick Meidner expects plenty of 49ers roster juggling with injuries playing a major factor. Vested veterans could be released and brought back to create room for players going to IR. Names to watch in that process: Kirk, Lowe, Jones, Hobbs, Martin, and Wagner. Also wouldn't be surprised if Williams and Grendel remain on pup, especially with the new rules allowing them to return to practice as early as week 3. Along with that, there are some good stuff at least, as Brock Purdy throwing no-look passes at practice. A recap from Nick Meidner: Purdy otherwise had a solid day, finding tight end Luke Farrell for a couple of touchdowns in the red zone, completing what looked like a no-look pass to Kahil Hodge, and dropping one into Christian McCaffrey over linebacker Fred Moore, and in the front of linebacker Jay Duggar for a big gain. Osa Odigizua continues to dominate inside on a regular basis. I know some will point to the Niner uncertainty at guard, especially Cooney out, and that's fair, but 92, their best interior rusher, and should offer a substantial upgrade over what they had last year. Inside had him down for multiple would-be pressures in team period. So he's going to be big on that. As for one player, as the linebacker issue is kind of a lot. Jalen Graham is out for a little bit. Nick Martin is kind of out. I think another linebacker is out too. We saw also Deion Jones out there. He looked pretty good overall. So it's good to see him out there, along with Simi Fleming Fehoko, who signed yesterday. They released Tristan Degura from yesterday, so I think he's okay. Larry Wharf is one of the guys the Niners seen they wanted to look at, given the injury situation at linebacker. Worf, Worf got some more work today and had a nice pass breakup on a pass from QB Matt Jones for tight end Jake Tonjes. So that's at least some good things. Here's some winners. Here's some good players, the good and not so good for them. Dejon's dribbling was very good as he was able to cook Jack Jones a lot, getting a lot of 8 yards, even able to handle even with a right shoulder injury. So that's kind of a bit impressive. But they need to keep him healthy and be ready by week 1. But he's been very good so far. It's just awesome to see that. I don't think he needs to play that Raiders game. We'll see, but I don't think he needs to. So that's a good thing for the 49ers as of right now. Christian McCaffrey is also another winner for the 49ers. In today's spring game, he did very good. He was very spry. He was very energetic. And he looked very healthy for the 49ers. So that's at least that's very good for the 49ers. He's very important. He's the engine for the 49ers. He is very important in the pass game, the run game. So it's awesome to see him being a winner here. He got some good runs in that game. Marquis Siegel and Jair Brown are also winners. Marquis Siegel was able to break up get an interception from Brock Purdy, which I'll get to more on him in a minute. And he was able to get some good play, was able to get a good interception, and be able to make some good tackles for the 49ers. Jair Brown is also a winner, as he was able to match up with a receiver and able to stop him. It's not exactly a big deal, but it's impressive for a safety to at least keep up with that, a receiver, so I'm happy on that. Luke Farrell is also another winner now. Now, this is kind of a good thing, as Luke Farrell, Jake Tonjes, and George Kittle are now very good at the receiving. Now I feel like they are going to use the tight end preset, which I'm glad at, because I think the Niners need that for adjusting their scheme. I think it would be a nice change of pace for the 49ers, and I think it's good to try new things. The possibility of it is Dejon's dribbling, George Kittle, Jake Tonjes, Luke Farrell, Christian McCaffrey, and Mike Evans possibly as a play for a play possibly, which I don't mind. I think it's a very nice play. You have a lot of good players and they can all receive, and I think it's a good idea for the 49ers. So Luke Farrell's having an awesome training camp for so far this season. Samuel Guanu is also did very good as he was in the first team ups as Nick Bosa is not around, and along with that Ramon Height with the ankle injury, but he was able to get a would-be sack on Brock Purdy and be able to at least get some pressure. So that's a good thing by Samuel Guanu. Brock Purdy also is one of the not so goods, which I'm getting to right now, as he kind of threw some picks. He kind of sails the ball a little too far. I think he needs to work on that a little bit more. Hopefully, he can finish that up by next training camp, as it mentions, even though this is supposed to be the last training camp. But who knows? For the 49ers, but I like what they did on that, so it's good to see him there. So he didn't exactly do best, but he at least had some good. He at least had those two not look passes, so at least he did well on that. Jack Jones is also a loser as he lost a lot to Dejon's dribbling. He also pushed Dejon's dribbling down as dribbling was slow to get up. The Niners should probably fine him just because you can't do that to an injured player, especially one of the young players who is actually doing good with Mike Evans being out. So I would probably fine him just because that's not okay in my view. So I would do that. So Upton Stout is out with an injury. DeAndre Norton took over. And I can see that he did better at the slot as I'm getting a lot of news on that. But I feel like Upton Stout is still a great player. And I think he's been very good for the 49ers. I just don't think, I think he's going to be fine, Upton Stout. I just think he's a better slot receiver. And, you know, you can't really put Upton Stout at the deep thing. I mean, maybe you could. Maybe trade him for like next year or like year 3. So we'll see on that. But I think Upton Stout, he is a loser, unfortunately, just because of the injury. Mike Evans is also another loser, as he has had 5 injuries, and it's just sad. I mean, there's a possibility that he might miss half the season, and that is a possibility of that being happening because he's very old. He's 33, and it's just sad to see that. That's why he's in that, and it's just sad to see him being injured for most of the season. But it is what it is, and we'll just have to monitor on it for now. Jordan Watkins is also a loser. He didn't get a lot of separation, and he's not going to be that guy. He's more of that backup player, but he is going to be getting yourself a little bit open, but just not against like man to man or like be getting contested by very physical corners. So that's going to be kind of an issue for that. And Jacob Cowing is the last loser for the 49ers as he is injured, but I still believe that he should make the team, hopefully, for the 49ers. But overall, day 17 of 49ers training camp, it's kind of been not the best day for the 49ers. There have been a lot of injuries, but there is some good news as the 49ers, there's a as they show if, as David Lombardi posted that there are a possibility of players that are going to come back, which include Pooney, right? You got Pooney, you got Nick Bosa, you got Malik possibly, you got Renardo, you got Upton Stout, you got you got Grayson Halton, you got Romello Height, you got Brett Toth, Austin Pleasance, Vidarian Lowe, or actually Austin Pleasance, you got maybe Robert Jones, you got Mike Evans, you got Jacob Cowing. So there's a and you got Curtis Rourke also. So there's a possibility of all of those guys, as the Barty posted, of those guys coming back next week for them, which is a good thing because that way they can be able to at least rest for a little bit and hopefully they can be able to come back for the 49ers. So there's a possibility of them all coming back, but mostly over 20 players have been out for the 49ers, and it's been kind of bad, but hopefully the injuries just get better and hopefully they're ready by week 1. But that is it for day 17 of 49ers training camp. Hopefully you make sure to like, subscribe, share, comment down below on what you think of day 17 of 49ers training camp. And this is Bay Area Sports Report, signing off.